millions of years ago, long before the age of man's power and civilization, there existed a time when nature ruled with unchallenged might. A time when the jungles of South America were not just forests, they were living, breathing worlds of danger. In those shadowy lands, where mist danced over ancient swamps and the cries of unknown creatures echoed through the trees, early humans lived in constant fear. They were not the hunters, they were the hunted, because lurking beneath those emerald canopies was something that defied imagination. A creature so vast, so silent, and so merciless that even the fiercest predators bowed to its reign. Its name was Titanoboa. Titanoboa was not just a snake, it was a living monument to power. Over 40 feet long, its body as thick as an oil drum, and scales that shimmered like black iron under the filtered sunlight. It moved through the swamps like a silent wave, unseen, unheard, until it was too late. When it struck, the jungle itself seemed to shudder. One crushing coil, one final breath, and the world went silent again. Even the strongest creatures, giant boars, crocodiles, and monstrous lizards, became nothing more than whispers in its diet. But Titanoboa did not kill for survival alone. It killed to remind every living being who ruled the jungle. For the humans, life became a game of fear. They learned to move silently, to read the forest's signs, to listen for the stillness that warned of its presence. At night, they would climb into trees, tying their children high above the ground, praying that Titanoboa wouldn't find them. But prayers meant nothing in a world where nature was God, because even among the trees, safety was an illusion. Titanoboa could climb, slow, deliberate, unstoppable. It followed scent and heat, guided by instincts older than time itself. By dawn, the forest would fall quiet again, and another life would be gone. The tribes began to change. They stopped venturing deep into the jungle. They built their huts closer to the rivers, believing water would protect them. But Titanoboa ruled the water too. It would slide beneath the surface, invisible, its eyes breaking the surface for just a second, enough to find its next victim. Some said it could sense heartbeats. Others swore it could feel footsteps through the ground. And no one ever saw it coming, until it was already too late. Where Titanoboa passed, silence followed. Birds stopped singing. The frogs stopped croaking. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. The jungle bowed before him, the undisputed monarch of a forgotten era. In those days, the humans had little understanding of the world around them. They didn't know what evolution was. They didn't know how old this creature truly was. But they knew one thing: the jungle was alive, and it wanted them gone. They began to worship the serpent as a god of death. At night, around their fires, they told stories of Titanoboa's wrath. They said his eyes burned like molten amber. They said his breath could stop the air from moving. And they said that when he slept, the jungle slept with him, but fear alone could not sustain them. As food grew scarce, the tribes decided to hunt, to challenge the serpent that had haunted them for generations. It was a morning wrapped in mist. The air hung heavy, thick, and unmoving. The tribe gathered by the riverbank. warriors armed with wooden spears and fire-tipped torches. They whispered a prayer, not for victory, but for mercy. Then the water began to stir. Ripples spread, slowly wider and wider. The birds fled. The trees fell silent. And then, with a roar of water and earth, Titanoboa rose. Its scales caught the sunlight, a wall of muscle and shadow. Its eyes locked on the tribe. And in that moment, time froze. The first warrior threw his spear. It shattered like straw. Another screamed as the serpent's tail swung, breaking bone with a single strike. People ran in terror, diving into the water, but even there, it found them. It moved with unnatural grace, faster than anything that size should ever move. Within minutes, the ground was red. The river, once clear, flowed thick with mud and silence. By nightfall, the survivors gathered what little courage they had left. Their fires flickered weakly, their faces pale with terror. They had faced the god of the jungle and lost. The elder spoke softly. Titanoboa is not a beast. He is the spirit of the jungle itself, sent to remind us that we are guests here. From that day on, they no longer hunted near the rivers. They no longer called out at night. Every sound, every movement, every whisper was made in fear that Titanoboa might hear. And so the jungle fell into uneasy silence, its ruler unseen, yet always present. Years passed. The humans learned to live with the fear, but Titanoboa never faded into legend. Fishermen told stories of seeing ripples in the stillest waters. Hunters found giant shed scales glistening in the morning sun. Sometimes a shadow would move beneath the water and vanish just as quickly. Was it real? Or was it the ghost of an ancient memory? No one knew, but deep beneath the swamps, in caverns untouched by time, the ground still trembles. Softly, rhythmically, as if something massive, something ancient, still moves below. Some say Titanoboa died millions of years ago. Others believe that in the darkest corners of the jungle, where sunlight never reaches, its bloodline still sleeps, waiting. And perhaps one day, when the earth is quiet again, Titanoboa will rise once more.